Yo, what's going on with you guys, man? You guys already know what this video is by the title of it, man. UFC Fight Night Luque versus Dos Anjos picks. We're gonna be doing picks. All I need you guys to do is simply just subscribe to the channel, guys. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you guys drop a like and hit the notification bell so whenever I upload, you guys can be notified. But if you leave a like on the video, it just pushes it in the algorithm. That way we can grow the family. So we're gonna get straight into it. Opening up the card, we got Luana Santos versus Juliana Miller. Now this fight is, two girls that are not the greatest strikers, but guess what? Luana Santos is a better striker than Juliana Miller. And Juliana Miller's most recent fight versus Veronica Hardy, a girl who's on a 3-year layoff. Juliana Miller looked, when I say she looked terrible, guys, she was a definition of terrible and just a horrific performance. Zero ability to set up a takedown, zero ability to throw any good strikes, and pretty much just going for submissions on her back and just pretty much, hoping for that to go well her way. And in a fight like this against a girl, Luana Santos, who's a BJJ in judo, BJJ or a black belt in judo and a black belt in a BJJ, I would like to say she has no damn shot, only because it's women's MMA. Things, we've seen crazier things happen. Luana Santos I feel she's just a better striker. Obviously, she has more power, more precise striking, and she's going to be better on the ground than Juliana Miller. And Juliana Miller has no takedown defense. I mean, Veronica Hardy was able to take down Juliana Miller whenever she wanted. So if Luana Santos wants to do that, she can do the same exact thing. The striking's better. The judo's obviously going to be better. The BJJ's obviously going to be better. So I just see Luana Santos being able to really, she should dominate this fight. If she doesn't dominate this fight, I'll be shocked. And the only reason she probably won't dominate this fight is because it's women's MMA. But she should literally, dominate this fight badly. I might put $50 on money line on Luana Santos, no kidding. So yeah, on to the next fight. Next up, we got Jose Johnson versus Damon Blackshear. Now Damon Blackshear was already scheduled to fight against Brady Highstand, so you can already tell that his wrestling is definitely going to be extremely on point in this fight. And with Jose Johnson taking this fight on such short notice and being so easy to take down and having 3 losses by submissions, it just makes it that simple. Jose Johnson most recent fight on the Contender Series versus Jack Cartwright, he got taken down about 7 times out of 10 attempts, and he was in multiple deep submission attempts. I don't understand how Cartwright didn't get that done, but guess what? Damon Blackshear will 100,000% get that done for sure, especially since he was already preparing in camp for a wrestler. Him going out there with the wrestling game and taking down Jose Johnson, Jose Johnson has no chance to win this fight. And yeah, I'm just gonna go with Damon Blackshear to win the fight, and if he doesn't, that's just MMA for you. Next up, we got Jacqueline Morin versus Montserrat Ruiz. Now this fight, let's just say that Jacqueline Morin's her debut against Sam Hughes is one of the worst debuts I've ever seen in my life. And to be fair, she had a great first round, but the biggest problem with Jacqueline Morin is that before she had gotten to the UFC, all of her fights were first round finishes. And the first time she had to get out of the first round, she just had zero gas tank. Instantly was just submitting to just not wanting to be in the octagon anymore, just laying on her back, trying to pull guard, slow strike, and everything just shot down as if she just fought a 5-round war. So in terms of her gas tank, I have zero trust in her gas tank. Her best opportunity to win this fight is a first round knockout. She only has 1 knockout in her career. She does have a bit of power though, so I'll be fair. And there will be a chance for her to finish Ruiz, because Ruiz kind of just leaves her head out in the air when she's closing the distance to get those scarf hold takedowns. It's kind of like a judo throw Ruiz likes to do. So that's what's that's going to be her game plan. But I just have to take Ruiz. I have to take Ruiz. She has that grueling pace, and she's able to do it for 3 rounds. And if Jacqueline Morin can't get a finish in the first round, which I don't think she will be able to do. Ruiz has only been finished once in her career, and that was against Amanda Lemos, and we know how powerful Amanda Lemos is with the striking. So I just can't see Morin being, it's possible, but I'm just gonna go with Ruiz to be able to push the pace for 3 rounds, get those scarf hold takedowns, hold the position on top. And once the fight gets out of the first round, I think Morin's not gonna have nothing to offer. So I'm gonna go with Ruiz to win this fight. Straight Ruiz, but it is women's MMA, so it's always gonna be low confidence. Next fight up is gonna be Josh Parisian versus Martin Buday. Now, Martin Buday is a good striker, precise, you know, can fight in the clinch a bit, you know, 100% takedown defense. And Josh Parisian, on the other hand, a little bit of a volume striker himself. Tries to go for the takedown every now and then, but I just don't see this fight being able to go his way. You know, Budai is going to be the much better striker, and Parisian, you know, he does get hurt a lot, and he doesn't have any real quality wins in the UFC. And his skill set is nothing too crazy to where he can just come in here and steam Martin Budai. So I think that Martin Budai should be able to get this done. He should be able to hurt Josh Parisian on the feet, because like I said before, Josh Parisian does tend to get hurt on the feet. And when that happens, he tries to go for a takedown. And with Martin Budai having such good takedown defense and being a really big guy, it's going to be hard for Parisian to get those takedowns on him. And I just see Martin Budai being able to, you know, win the striking battle and potentially get a finish here versus Parisian. So I'm going to go with Martin Budai to get the win. All right, the next fight we got is Francis Marshall versus Isaac Dogarian. Isaac Dogarian is making his UFC debut. He's only 5-0. And on the other hand, Francis Marshall is 7-1, 1-1 to be exact in the UFC. His strike, I'm just gonna say this right now, his striking on the feet is not accurate at all. He's very inaccurate on his feet with his striking. But he did show to be able to have some form of power when he got that knockout victory in his debut. But then his follow-up fight versus William Gomez, he showed really terrible accuracy, no real ability to like push the pace, like didn't really get the opportunity to get any kind of wrestling going until like the ending of the fight, and at that point he pretty much lost a split decision. This is going to be a low confident pick, but I'm going to go with Isaac Dogarian. I haven't seen a lot of film from him, obviously, but from the film that I have seen, he's a good wrestler, very strong on top, you know, works for the top position very quickly. He does have some power in his hand, so I mean that's enough for me to just go low volume with Dogarian, even though he's making his or it's enough confidence for me to go with Dogarian, even though I haven't seen much of him. Francis Marshall is just like not convincing enough that I think that he could really do nothing to him, and he hasn't really had to fight anybody that, you know, that's going to try to wrestle him or get top position on him. So we haven't seen Francis Marshall off of his back, so he could be a fish out of water off of his back. So I'm gonna go with Isaac Dogarian, low confident pick. You guys can do what you want to do with that. All right, next up we got Terrence McKinney versus Mike Breeden. And Terrence McKinney's taking this fight on like 2 weeks notice. He's going up against Mike Breeden. Mike Breeden's coming off of that loss to Natan Levy, a decision loss where he was taken down 9 times. Was able to get up, you know, decently. And McKinney's coming off of a loss just 2 weeks ago to Nazim Sadikov, where he had a good first round with, you know, back control, and then second round just came out and ended up getting submitted. Like he got his back took, and his, you know, his left arm was stuck off the back mount, so his neck was just wide open and he just got choked out. And thinking about this fight, man, I like Terrence McKinney has no real cardio, you know, coming out the first round. It's like he's like a first round or bust kind of guy. His, you know, he lately when he gets hit, he looks like a fish out of water. Like he looks like he does not want to be in there. This is so difficult to pick, man. Like I want to pick McKinney because of the wrestling ability, and Mike Breeden doesn't really have that much great takedown defense. But then again, I want to pick Mike Breeden because I know he can go 3 rounds with volume and potentially have the chance to get McKinney out of there. This is going to be one of my most low confidence picks of all time, but I'm going to pick Terrence McKinney only because of how bad Mike Breeden's takedown defense is. And even though he was able to get up against Natan Levy, I don't think Natan Levy has the same ability to, you know, take someone's back like how Terrence McKinney does. Neither does he have the same wrestling credentials. So I'm just going to have to go with McKinney in one of my most lowest confident picks of all time. All right, next up we got JP Buys versus Marcus McGee. Now this fight is going to be, it should be a literal beatdown. And Marcus McGee should really literally beat the brakes off of JP Buys. And the only reason why I say this is because, you know, JP Buys is clearly at a point in his career where he came into the UFC at flyweight, got stopped, moved up to bantamweight because the weight cut was too tough on him, got dropped 4 times versus Montel Jackson. Then he went back down to flyweight, which he claimed he already had trouble making the weight, right? And then he just gets finished by Cody Durden by strikes. So I just don't see a path to victory for JP Buys versus Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee has outstanding takedown defense, big power, and he also has the ability to get any submissions on the ground. That was the first submission of his career in his UFC debut versus Journey Newson. He's more so known for having big power, but he also showed that he can, he has BJJ there, obviously. But yeah, I just don't see JP Buys' chin being able to take the damage that's going to be coming his way from Marcus McGee. And he's going to try to get takedowns, but he's very inaccurate with takedowns to begin with. And yeah, it's just not going to go his way. So Marcus McGee, one of my most confident picks on this entire card for sure. Next up, we got Josh Frem versus Jamie Pickett. Now, Josh Frem has good wrestling, good takedowns, decent striking. And Jamie Pickett, he's really only good with, just decent striking. And that's literally about it. As soon as he has to go in the back foot, he has nothing. And his takedown defense is pretty mediocre. And once he does get down on the ground, like, he has nothing to offer on the ground. So simply put, for this fight, I'm going to be picking Josh Frem to win this fight. There is going to be potential opening for him to get hurt or something on the feet because, Pickett is a little precise on the feet. But as soon as you can get him to back up, he's just effectively useless. So going to be going with Josh Frem. This should be an easy pick to win the fight. All right, next up we got AJ Dobson versus Tefan Nchechkwi. Now, this fight, Tefan is moving down from light heavyweight, but he had 2 back-to-back really bad knockout losses. One, he got flying kneed, and then the other one, he got like badly clipped by like a short hook. So I don't know. I'm gonna just lean with AJ Dobson just off of that. AJ Dobson, he's safe on the feet. Would like to see a little bit more volume from him, volume from him at times, but he does have the ability to wrestle. And even though Tefan does have, decent takedown defense, I think that Dobson's accuracy will be able to get him a takedown or a couple, and he could be able to win the fight that way. It's a low confidence pick, but I just can't go with a guy. I mean, both guys have low MMA experience. One is 6-2, the other 6-3, and one just got knocked out badly twice. Now you're dropping down in weight, and it's like, I just doubt that his chin is going to be able to really hold up after those really bad knockout losses. So yeah, I'm going to go with AJ Dobson to win this one, but it's definitely going to be low confidence. Next up, we got Polyana Viana versus Yasmin Lucindo. And I'm going to slightly lean towards Yasmin Lucindo to win this fight. Polyana does have more experience, and she is durable. Like, she's only been submitted once in her career. And even though Lucindo is 10 years younger, she's been finished 3 times before, 2 by sub, 1 by knockout. So, I mean, Polyana is best on the ground. That's where she gets, she's got the majority of her finishes. So I would say that, Lucindo could potentially be in trouble if the fight does get to the ground or goes there. But like I said, I'm gonna slightly lead towards Lucindo. The thing about Polyana is when she strikes, she kind of does leave her chin in the air just a bit. She's not a bad fighter at all, but it's women's MMA. I feel like this is like another example of a 50-50 fight. And I'm gonna lean towards the youth. I'm gonna lean towards the capabilities in the striking of Lucindo. And yeah, we're just gonna have to go with it like that. I can't really go in depth any more further than that. It's a woman's fight, so hey, Amanda Nunes can go out there and lose to freaking Polyana Viana, so on any random night, so you never really know. But yep, on to the next. All right, next fight we got is Khalil Roundtree versus Chris Daukaus. Now, Chris Daukaus is dropping down from heavyweight to light heavyweight, but I'm gonna just address the main factor in this fight, and it's the fact that Chris Daukaus' chin is completely gone. Like, he was getting constantly finished at heavyweight. He's been knocked out 5 times in his career. Roundtree does have power. He does have, good kickboxing. And I could just see Roundtree getting the finish here. Now, obviously, Roundtree has been finished himself before, but I just feel like even, with Chris Daukaus taking so much damage at heavyweight, and him dropping down to light heavyweight, he's gonna suffer the same fate. Even in his most recent fight against Jairzinho Rozenstruik, that was a guy who was a kickboxer, but Jairzinho caught him early with the jab, and the fight just wasn't the same. Fight was over early in the first round. So, good on Chris Daukaus trying to change his career, trying to drop down to, light heavyweight. But I just feel like with all the damage he's took at this point in his career, going up against a good kickboxer like Khalil Roundtree, the fight's gonna play out on the feet, and I'm just gonna go with the guy that has the the more all-around stand-up game and the more safer, healthier chin. I just can't trust Chris Daukaus with that chin. So yep, on to the next. All right, on to the co-main event. We got Cub Swanson versus Hakeem Dawodu. Now, this fight should be a pretty decent fight. I'm just gonna say right away, Hakeem Dawodu should definitely win this fight, but because of the kind of performance we've seen in his most recent fight against Julian Rosa, a fight that he really had no business losing, he showed up overweight and ended up having a really terrible performance. So some people might say that the weight cut, the weight issue might have been the problem, why he had such a bad performance, which is possible. But that, all in all, it was just a really terrible performance. And he's going up against Cub Swanson. And the thing with Cub Swanson is that he hasn't really had any real wins over anybody in his last 9 fights. He's 3-6 in his last 9 fights. And every time he's had to face some form of a contender or an up-and-coming fighter, he's lost. Like, he only has wins over Kron Gracie, Daniel Pineda, and Darren Elkins in like the past 6 years. So I mean, I can't really put stock into Cub Swanson. If I'm gonna pick who I'm gonna trust, I'd rather trust Hakeem Dawodu. He has pretty decent takedown defense, not the best, but it's not like Cub Swanson's gonna be shooting 100,000 takedowns. That's not really gonna be the case. So I think the fight's gonna play out on the feet for the most part, and I'm gonna have to lean with Hakeem Dawodu to win this fight. Finally, on to the main event. UFC Fight Night, Luque versus Dos Anjos. Vicente Luque versus Rafael Dos Anjos. 5-round main event. And yeah, this fight's gonna be pretty interesting. I would say the thing that Vicente Luque has going for him the most in this fight is his reach advantage. But I mean, obviously, RDA has faced people that have, a longer reach advantage than him. I just think that RDA has all the tools to win this fight. Vicente Luque is coming off of back-to-back losses, one to a wrestler and then one to a striker. And the thing about it, RDA can do everything. In Southpaw, he just, Vicente Luque just fought a Southpaw in Jeff Neal. He was beat up really badly, and he couldn't seem to defend against that straight left. For some reason, the left was just getting through at a really high clip, even the uppercuts. And that ended up hurting Vicente Luque, and it led to him getting finished. And he's taken so much damage. He's even recently had some form of a brain injury, something along the lines of like a brain bleed. And I'm not sure as to why he's coming back. That to me is very scary. I just wish MMA fighters can make more money, because there's no way Vicente Luque should be fighting after he just had like some form of really severe injury to his brain. I'm not sure what's going on with that. So to me, that just adds to it. Obviously, the skill sets in the fight, it just makes me believe that RDA can't get the job done. Even when Vicente Luque fought against Belal Muhammad, his previous fight, Belal Muhammad was able to get 5 out of 10 takedowns, 50% clip. So I can just see RDA being able to come in there and get those takedowns against Vicente Luque. Even Jeff Neal was able to get a takedown against Vicente Luque. So like I said before, RDA just has all the tools to be able to win this fight. And with that injury that Vicente Luque has, that he just suffered, I'm not sure why he's already back in the octagon. Maybe it's a money situation. Prayers for Vicente Luque regardless, though, because that's some scary stuff right there. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the picks, guys. I will be doing the DraftKings video. Either I've already dropped it, or it'll be the next video. So make sure you guys check out the DraftKings video, specifically DraftKings fantasy plays, showing you guys the best plays to compete for 100K first place prize. And yeah, there'll be a lot more different kind of videos, betting videos, just regular MMA videos. And yeah, guys, drop a like, comment, subscribe, and guys, hit that notification bell so anytime I upload, you guys will get notified. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.